You lie down on the ground because there is nowhere else to go. No pillow, no mattress, no bedroom door between your sleeping body and the dark. Above you, the sky has gone black, the fire is shrinking, and every sound outside the circle of light matters. A twig snaps, someone turns their head, a child moves closer to an older body. You are tired, but sleep is not a private escape. It is a risk. So how did ancient humans sleep before beds were invented? The answer is stranger than a pile of leaves. Your ancestors did not simply collapse onto the dirt like exhausted animals. They built sleeping places. They chose surfaces. They managed insects, cold, smoke, fear, and social tension. Long before a bed became a wooden frame in a room, sleep was already a technology. Not metal technology, not digital technology, body technology, fire technology, group technology. For most of human history, your sleeping place was not a sealed box called a bedroom. It was a patch of earth, cave floor, grass mat, animal hide, raised branch platform, sand hollow, or shared shelter arranged inside a living camp. That sounds primitive until you notice what a modern bed hides from you. It hides temperature. It hides predators. It hides insects. It hides the fact that a sleeping human is one of the most vulnerable animals on Earth. What happens when that protection disappears? Your body still carries the old answer. As daylight fades, your brain begins releasing melatonin, a hormone that tells your body darkness has arrived. Your core temperature begins to drop. Your eyes become less hungry for movement. This daily internal timing system is called your circadian rhythm, which simply means your body has a clock built around light, darkness, heat, food, and activity. Ancient sleep did not begin because a clock said 10 p.m. It began because the world changed. The light thinned. The air cooled. Work became harder. Dangerous movement became expensive. Your body listened. In 2015, researcher Gandhi Yetish and sleep scientist Jerome Siegel studied the Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, and the Tsimane of Bolivia. These are not frozen fossils of the Stone Age, but their communities live with far less artificial light and far more direct contact with outdoor temperature than a modern city. Their sleep showed something surprising. They did not usually fall asleep the moment the sun went down. They often stayed awake for hours after dark, talking, resting, and letting the evening cool. Does that sound familiar? You may blame your late-night wakefulness on screens, stress, or bad habits. Some of that may be true, but the older pattern is not simply sunset, then sleep. It is sunset, then social time. It is firelight. It is listening. It is the slow handover from daytime labor to nighttime safety. The study found average sleep closer to 6.5 hours than the perfect 8 hours printed in modern wellness advice. That does not mean ancient people were well rested every night. It means your ancestors were adapted to a sleep system shaped by seasons, temperature, danger, and group life, rather than alarm clocks and office schedules. Before beds, the first question was not, is this comfortable? It was, is this safe? Imagine a camp in dry savanna country. The ground still holds heat from the day. The sky is deep blue-black. The fire throws orange light onto faces, knees, baskets, stones, and sleeping children. You are not alone. No one wants to be alone. Privacy, in the modern sense, would be a luxury and a danger. Your sleeping place is close enough to the fire to feel its heat, but not so close that sparks bite your skin. It is near other bodies, because other bodies mean warmth and warning. Infants sleep beside adults. Older people sleep where their ears can still help the group. Dogs, if the time and place include them, may sleep near the edges, hearing things before you do. What would a bed even mean in a world like that? A modern bed separates one person from the ground. Ancient bedding connected a group to a place. Archaeologist Lynn Wadley found evidence at Sibudu Cave in South Africa that people used layered plant bedding around 77,000 years ago. This was not random grass on the floor. The bedding included reeds, rushes, and leaves, with signs that people renewed and burned old layers, likely to clean the living surface and reduce pests. At Border Cave, also in southern Africa, Wadley and colleagues reported even older evidence of grass bedding, around 200,000 years old, associated with ash and fire. Ash matters because it can discourage crawling insects. Fire matters because it cleans, warms, lights, and protects. A bed, in this ancient sense, was not furniture. It was a managed surface. So before beds were invented, ancient humans may already have been inventing bedtime. The material depended on where you lived. In a forest, you might sleep on leaves, bark, branches, hides, or woven plant fibers. Near rivers, reeds, and rushes could make a springy mat. In cold regions, hides, furs, and packed snow shelters could reduce the deadly leak of body heat into the ground. In deserts, sand could be shaped into hollows, and the night air could become cold enough that closeness mattered more than softness. Comfort was real, but comfort was practical. A surface that kept insects away was comfortable. A hide that kept damp from reaching your skin was comfortable. A mat that could be carried or remade was comfortable. A shared sleeping space where children stayed warm was comfortable. Ancient sleep was not luxury. It was problem-solving. Then there was the fire. Today, fire often feels like atmosphere. A candle, a fireplace, a camping memory. For your ancestors, fire changed the night into a second world. It pushed back animals. It made faces visible. It let people process food, repair tools, sing, tell stories, and stay awake after sunset without being swallowed by darkness. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied firelight conversations among the Juhoansi of southern Africa. Her work showed a striking difference between daytime talk and nighttime talk. Daytime conversations often centered on practical matters, tensions, complaints, and work. Nighttime firelight opened space for stories, songs, ceremonies, and imagination. In plain language, the fire did not just protect sleep. It changed what happened before sleep. What did that do to your mind? It gave your ancestors a soft landing into darkness. Instead of ending the day like a machine shutting off, the group moved through a social twilight. Children heard stories. Adults repaired bonds. Fear was shared instead of carried alone. The fire made the night less empty, but it did not make the night harmless. A sleeping camp needed awareness. Some researchers have suggested that different sleep timing inside a group may have helped. Young adults might stay alert later. Older people might wake earlier. Someone coughing, shifting, tending embers, nursing a child, or listening to a sound could become part of the group's security system. This is sometimes called the sentinel idea, which means at least one person is partly awake while others sleep. You can feel the echo of that in modern life. One person in a family hears the baby first. One person wakes to the smallest noise. One person falls asleep instantly while another lies awake scanning the room. In a bedroom, that feels annoying. In prehistory, it may have been useful. Did ancient humans sleep through the whole night? Not always. Modern people often imagine good sleep as one solid block, sealed from evening until morning. But before electric light, sleep could be more flexible. People might sleep, wake, talk quietly, tend the fire, check a child, shift position, or listen to the night, then sleep again. This is often called segmented sleep, which simply means sleep broken into more than one part. That does not mean every ancient person had the same two-part schedule every night. Human sleep has always changed with season, age, food, danger, weather, illness, and social life. A hungry night is different from a full night. A winter night is different from a hot summer night. A camp after a death is different from a camp after a feast. Your bed makes all nights look similar. Ancient life did not. Now picture the sleeping surface itself. It is not clean in the modern white sheet sense. It smells of smoke, skin, dry grass, old ash, animal hide, and earth. That may sound unpleasant, but smell was information. Smoke could signal safety. Rot could signal danger. Damp could warn of cold. A familiar body smell could calm a child faster than any blanket. You curl your knees slightly. That position protects heat. Your hands come closer to your chest. Your feet avoid the cold edge of the mat. If the night cools, bodies shift inward. If the fire flares, bodies turn away. Nobody needs a sleep app to know what the night is doing. The ground teaches you. This is where the idea of before beds becomes misleading. If a bed means a raised wooden frame with a soft mattress, then yes, most ancient humans slept before beds. But if a bed means a prepared place where the body can safely surrender consciousness, then beds are incredibly old. The first beds were not objects you bought. They were arrangements you made. Grass, ash, hide, heat, distance from smoke, distance from danger, distance from people you did not trust, closeness to people you did. Every part mattered. There is another twist. Ancient sleep may not have felt as lonely as modern sleep. Today, you may sleep in a private room, under a private blanket, beside a private phone glowing with private worries. Your ancestors often slept inside sound. Breathing, crackling, whispering, children stirring, dogs shifting, insects buzzing beyond the smoke. The night was not silent. It was shared. Would that make sleep worse or better? Both. Shared sleep meant interruptions. It meant noise, smell, movement, and little control. But it also meant safety, warmth, and belonging. A modern mattress can support your spine. It cannot tell your nervous system that 20 familiar people are nearby, listening with you. That may be why the deepest lesson is not about furniture. It is about what sleep is for. Sleep is not just a personal recharge. It is a biological surrender that must be made safe by your environment. Ancient humans solved that with fire, bedding, group awareness, and repeated habits. Modern humans solve it with doors, walls, locks, climate control, pillows, and silence. But your body is older than your bedroom. That is why modern sleep can break even inside perfect comfort. Your room can be soft and still make your brain restless. Your mattress can be expensive and still fail to give your body the cues it understands. Too much light at night tells your ancient clock that the day has not ended. Too little morning light tells your body the day has not begun. A lonely room can be quiet, but not calming. A safe house can still hold a nervous mind. Your ancestors did not need a bed in the modern sense. They needed a trustworthy night, and that is the part you still need. You need darkness that actually arrives. You need temperature that gently falls. You need a mind that has been allowed to leave the day behind. You need fewer invisible threats glowing inches from your face. You need some version of firelight, not necessarily fire itself, but a transition, a ritual, a sign that the world has become safe enough to let go. Before beds, ancient humans slept on earth, plants, hides, ash, warmth, and each other. They slept lightly when they had to, deeply when they could, together when safety demanded it, apart when heat, conflict, or custom required it. Their sleep was not primitive. It was tuned, and maybe the strangest truth is this. The modern bed did not invent sleep. It only changed what sleep was resting on. Beneath the mattress, beneath the frame, beneath the bedroom floor, your body is still asking the same ancient question every night. Is the dark safe enough now? You lie down on the ground because there is nowhere else to go. But now you understand the ground was never just the ground. It was the first bedroom your species ever learned to trust.